And let's take a look at what this independent speaking practice test is first, and then I can more accurately score your response. Okay, so number 6. Okay, I'm going to find it right now. Okay, here we go. So which do you think is better, living on campus in dorms or living off campus in apartments? So this is a paired choice response.
I think living on campus is much better, as when one lives on campus, one doesn't have to worry about a lot of things like maintenance bills, the internet,
okay,
and a lot of other services. So the cost of living on campus is relatively low. Also, there are a lot of communities on campus, so one can meet a lot of friends and get exposed to a lot of various activities on campus. And finally, the most important part, living on campus, you have academic support. So if you don't have, you have a question, so you can just go and ask your friend. So I believe living on campus is much better.
Yeah, and we listen to the beginning one more time. I think you have some topic development issues.
I think living on campus is much better, as when one lives on campus, one doesn't have to worry about a lot of things like maintenance bills, the internet, and a lot of other services. So the cost of living on campus is relatively low. Also, there are a lot of communities on campus, so one can meet a lot of friends.
Yeah, okay, so here's my first suggestion is you need a little bit more concise introduction. You want to try to frame your response around maybe 2 points. Something very easy that you can give examples to support. For example, you might say, if I have to choose between living off campus or living on campus, I'd rather live on campus because it's less expensive and I'm closer to the classes that I'm attending. Then you'll say something like, first of all, I like living on campus because it's a lot less expensive than living off campus. Then you give some examples to illustrate that. Then you say, second of all, I also like living on campus because it's much closer to the classes that I'm attending. And then you give some examples to support that, then you're pretty much done. So I think you need a little bit better organization. It was kind of hard to see how everything fit together. So that's really my main comment right there. Now, give me just a second. I want to go ahead and click on the rubrics where I can accurately give you a score here. So, let's see what we have. Okay, now I'm going to the independent speaking tasks. Okay, here we go, right here. Okay, so topic development, I think you can definitely organize your ideas a little bit better. I think with the language use, I think it's called a point of view shift. Sometimes when you're speaking, you'll shift into the you point of view. And I wouldn't do this for these kinds of speaking tasks. I would use either the first person point of view, which is the I, me, my, or the third person point of view, which is he, she, or it. Those 2 points of view, I think, are more appropriate than the you or the second person singular point of view. So that's a language use suggestion. With delivery, I think something that you can do here, this has to do with thought groups and blending. You can learn more about this in the pronunciation area of my course. But as you're explaining ideas, you want to make sure that you have a pause after you've said something, after you have an idea expressed. You have a short pause. Then you move on to another idea. You follow that with a pause. Right? So you need a little bit better, I think, pacing, and it will make it easier for me to follow what you're saying. You can learn more about thought groups and blending by going to the pronunciation area of my course. It's pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. Okay, your score here, I'm going to put you about 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Joy, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test, number 12. So this one actually appeared on the TOEFL exam. It says, do you think children should be given cell phones? Why or why not? So you say,
use of cell phones has saved children from imminent danger, and also children use cell phones to play games. For example, my sisters and I
okay, let me go back to the beginning one more time. I got to focus on that introduction.
Use of cell phones has saved children from imminent danger, and also children use cell phones to play games. For example, my sisters and I were attacked by armed robbers who were their small. I immediately took my phone and ran inside the toilet and dialed the police emergency number. The law enforcement agents swarmed into action and came to our rescue. And also, we played games with our cell phones, making us to stay at home, thereby preventing us from associating with bad gangs in the neighborhood. In conclusion, I believe that giving children cell phones is a good idea.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for completing that. Now, I like this. I like how you're completing this practice test with some distraction. Maybe that's your baby crying in the background. That is excellent practice. A lot of people think I'm crazy when I say this, but when you're taking the TOEFL IBT exam, other people will also be completing speaking tasks, so the actual testing center is quite noisy during the speaking section. So that's very, very good practice what you did. And you concentrated very well, and despite all the distraction, you were able to explain your ideas. Now, my difficulty from my end is it was hard for me to separate the actual distracting noise, the baby noise, from what you were saying, so it was a little bit hard to listen to some of what you said. So I'm not sure I can really accurately score this because of that. That's kind of the issue. So that would be my comments right now. So I'm going to give you a non-score on this one because I couldn't really listen to some of the most important points that you said because of the noise. All right? Anyway, thank you very much. Hi there, these comments are from Meg Delmeda, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 59. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at what this question is. Okay, here we go, right here. Okay, so which is more challenging, finding a good job or saving money to buy a nice house? Give reasons and examples to support your response. Alright?
In my opinion, saving money to buy a nice house is more challenging than finding a good job. First of all, saving money is more challenging because of several expenses a family has in a days of today.
No, wait a minute. I didn't quite get everything you're saying. Several expensive what?
First of all, saving money is more challenging because of several
You're not clearly pronouncing that word challenging. It's more challenging because
expenses a family has in days of today. For example,
now, I'm not getting everything that you're saying there, so I think there's some trouble between 12 and 15 seconds, I think, with your intelligibility.
my friend has 4 kids who study in private schools and
You're saying, my friend has 4 kids. Why are you giving me this information? Now, if you want to say to illustrate or for example or case in point, that would help us understand how what you're saying relates back to the previous idea. So you need a little bit better connection of ideas there.
lots of classes such as swimming and piano classes.
Now the word swimming, you have to go to Speak Clearly lesson number 11 to learn more about this, but you're saying swimming, but it's swimming, so it's the meet, bit, beat, pit, peat. So you're having trouble distinguishing between those two sounds, and this is killing your pronunciation right now. So that's definitely something that you want to work on. The word swimming. It's not just working on that word, but it's working on all sounds or words. For example, the word ability. It's not abilities, but abilities.
Or just a few money is left to her saving in order to buy a nicer and bigger house as she wishes. Moreover, the prices for houses are increasing too fast in my city. For example,
now instead of saying prices of houses are increasing too fast, you can say it's also difficult to buy a house because of the appreciation of the homes currently in my city. Say something like that. Remember that as you move from one point to the next, you want to frame this as an argument. You're not just stating a bunch of facts about something, you're actually making an argument about something. So that would be that's a topic development suggestion.
My neighbor just sold his house for twice the price he bought it 10 years ago.
Wow. And that's actually a really good investment. Sounds like what your friend had. Okay, on this one, you're having some delivery issues. You're having some topic development issues, as I pointed out. So I think both of those areas will bring this score down. So I'm going to put you at about 2.6 out of 4, 20 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are from Marcelak, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. Guess what? You're not going to believe this. You'll probably hear some cars driving by and stuff, but I'm looking right outside my hotel room, and guess what I see? I see Las Vegas Strip. I see the Mandalay, I see the Luxor, I see MGM, I see all of the casinos from my hotel room. I even see a helicopter flying overhead right now. So I'm just on vacation in Las Vegas. However, I'm trying to spend some time each day to maintain the students at my website because my website never sleeps. My website is always doing something 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right? Okay, so let's take a look here. So you did independent speaking practice test number 133. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what this question is. Okay, so let's see. Alright, it says, you need to buy a present for a friend. Would you rather buy the present online or would you rather go to a store in person to purchase the gift? Use reasons and examples to support your choice. Amazon is great, isn't it? Alright, so let's see what you say here.
I needed to buy a present for a friend, I would prefer to go to a store and buy that present there. First of all, for me it's most useful to go to a store because I can see the present I am going to buy. Moreover, if I have not decided yet, I can ask to the administrator for some suggestions.
Good example.
Furthermore, I can see in the store all the offers I have available, and I can choose according to my needs and the money I have in that moment. Overall, that's why I would prefer to go to a store to buy the gift for my friend.
Okay. Now let me look at what you did in the beginning one more time.
If I needed to buy a present for a friend, I would prefer to go to a store and buy that present there. First of all, for me,
Yeah, that issue there. First of all, if you say first of all, then you have to say second of all, or third of all, then finally. So maybe that's a language use error. You have to be kind of parallel in the types of transition words that you use. However, you did a really good job connecting your ideas together. Even at the very end, you said overall, and you stated your ideas. So I think the organization was pretty good, except the use of that one transition word, first of all. You had some examples in there to illustrate your points. So I think that you made an effective argument. Right? So let's take a look at the rubric. So I think overall this is a pretty good response. I think overall not too many problems with language use. As far as I can tell, you had very good control of your grammar and your vocabulary. And also your delivery was pretty good. And you're not perfect. You're trying to vary your tone, so you're making some progress there. However, I think you can still work in that area. Your score here, I think it's possible you could get a score 4 on this. I'm going to put you between 24 to 26 points out of 30, 3.1 to 3.3 out of 4. Part 4, Meg Almeida, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you're listening to Integrated Speaking Practice Test number 16. So this is listening, speaking, academic. And if I remember correctly, this was talking about glacier formation.
According to the professor, glaciers can only be formed in polar regions and on the top of mountains.
Let me go back to what you're saying here. Got to double check. So the last 2 recordings, your speaking is not as clear. You had a couple of recordings, I think, this week and last week that were very, very clear. It was very easy for me to understand what you were saying. So I don't know what the difference is, but part of my job is to give you feedback, to let you know when I can or when I cannot understand you. So I'm giving you that feedback right now.
According to the professor, glaciers can only be formed in polar regions and on the top of mountains.
Now the word polar, you're saying like polar regions. You're not pronouncing the P like a P. You're pronouncing it more like a B. So you need to work on that. So go to the pronunciation area of my course and work on the P versus the B consonant sound. You need to make some progress with that.
Because these are areas where the temperature does not get hot. However, when there is a great accumulation of ice on the top of mountains, it falls down and characterizes avalanches. The formation of glaciers.
Yeah, I didn't know about the avalanche thing. That's not really that important. We're talking about the process of glacier formation. Avalanches are typically caused by an accumulation of snow, not just ice. So you have a lot of snow, and maybe right below that is some ice. Then you have some more ice on top of that with some more snow. But that's a whole nother speaking topic. I don't even think you need to worry about that. Just focus on how glaciers are formed. There's really no need to talk about avalanches.
Happen when there is snow remains in the same area.
And when you say when the snow remains, it's when the snow remains. Again, you're not clearly pronouncing that consonant cluster, that S and that N. You got to work on that a little bit.
On ice, this snow becomes compact and with greater density, containing only very tiny parts of air. Then the glaciers get so heavy to the point it moves down according to the gravity. This is the way the avalanche takes place.
No, we're not talking about avalanches. We're talking about glaciers. We're talking about how glaciers, they begin slowly moving downhill because of gravity, as long as the incline of the mountain is greater than, say, 45 degrees or something. So I think on this one, you had some trouble. The idea that you talked about avalanches, I'm not sure why you talked about that. That was not an important point in the lecture, if I even mentioned it at all. So I don't think you even needed to bring that up. So you had some topic development issues. You didn't completely and accurately explain the information. You also had some delivery issues on this one. So this was difficult for you. I'm going to put you at 2.3 out of 4, 18 points out of 30 on this practice test. Hi there, these comments are for Dinah, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 11. Alright, so let's take a look at what this question is quickly. Then I can give you an accurate score. Okay, here we go, right here. Okay, so your friend doesn't know what to study at the university. What would you advise him to do? Okay? So you say...
My friend got confused what to study at university, so I advised him to meet the academic advisor for following reason. First of all, in this way, he can able to find what he really...
He can able to, no, he can find, or he will be able to, blah, blah, blah. So when you're using can, you can't use able after that word. When you say to be able, that's called a periphrastic modal. And usually I might say, I want to be able to do something. So you use the periphrastic modal typically after the main part of the verb. That's probably how you will do that. So I think the way that you use that was a language use error.
To study. For example, last year I was admitted at university and I met my academic advisor and he told me to take the what
I met my academic advisor. I would say who told me, not he, but let me listen to your grammar one more time.
For example, last year I was admitted at university and I met my academic advisor and he told me to take the what
I would say I met my academic advisor. Instead of saying and he, just say who told me. So if you're using the adjective clause, that's a little bit more advanced grammar than using the and in the compound sentence, right? So if you're not sure about adjective clauses, for example, how to use who, how to use which, how to use that, when do you use commas or not use commas, or how to use words like WHOSE, whose, in which or at which or during which, you can go to the grammar part of my course and study the lesson titled Adjective Clauses.
Class is good for me. So I followed him advice and that was the best.
So I followed his advice? No. So I followed his advice. So more language use errors. There's no way you can get in the 3 range now. Too many language use errors in this response.
For me, and certainly in this way he can also schedule his
Now instead of saying in this way, because you said that before, you can say likewise, in the same manner. You can say similarly. Those are all words that have similar meanings to what you just said. So you want to try to demonstrate that you have a variety of vocabulary and sentence structures that you can use when you're communicating your speaking ideas, and you'll score higher consequently.
study, so he can know what is the good time for him and what.
So he can know what the good time is. No, he can know what time is best instead of what is the best time for. That's probably how I would say that. So you're having some minor problems with language use throughout your response. Remember this. This is something you want to kind of put down in your speaking journal right now. I recommend with noun clauses, Dinah, they take statement, not question word order. So if I said to you, do you know what time? I'm not going to say, do you know what time is it? You want to say, do you know what time it is? That's going to be the best word order based on that. So that would be my results there. So let's go back to the next one here. Let's see. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish listening to this response.
What to do. So that's why I advise him to make the academic advisor.
Now, one other thing I think you can work on here is there's a type of grammar that you're avoiding here. It's called the subjunctive mood in English grammar, and you use it after words like advice, recommend, require, stipulate, and so on. So you can say, I would advise that my friend speak to an advisor. Notice how in the noun clause I'm using the base form of the verb. It kind of has the meaning, my friend should speak to an academic advisor, but you don't have to say should because you're using it in the noun clause. Now, if you have more questions about this, go to Google and type in these keywords. What is the subjunctive mood in English grammar? And subjunctive, it's spelled S-U-B-J-U-N-C-T-I-V-E. That grammar, I think you need to learn and understand and apply it in your own speaking, and you definitely will be moving forward with your language use. Alright, so now let's take a look at the rubrics here. So you're having some delivery, some language use problems with your response. Alright, so I'm going to put you right now, I'm going to put you at 2.3 out of 4, 18 points out of 30 on this practice test. Okay, so let's go ahead and find this practice test. So it's number 142. Okay, here we go. Alright, so what is the most important classroom item a teacher can use for his or her students? Describe the item and explain why it would help a teacher teach his or her students more effectively. Use examples in your explanation. Alright, so I think we have it. Here we go.
I think that the most important item used by a teacher is the marker. First of all, a teacher can use a marker to write down some concepts and explanations. In addition,
now, if you say write down concepts or explanations, you might say, well, for example, A first grade teacher can use a marker to write down the letters of the alphabet so that the students can get more familiar with what those letters are. So even something as simple as writing down information, it's still good to give a specific example to support your
If those
ideas.
concepts are hard to understand, the teacher can make a drawing and explaining which parts are the concepts. For example, if the teacher were talking about how to calculate areas in a pyramid or a sphere, she can draw those figures and showing which parts are the needed data.
Now that's much better. That second example was brilliant. Very good.
For example, if the teacher were talking about
Okay, I need to just double check some of your language use here. Give me a second.
and explaining which parts are the concepts. For example,
Which parts are the concepts, or which parts the concepts are? All right, I'm gonna say okay on
if
that.
the teacher were talking about how to calculate areas in a pyramid or a sphere,
You want to say a pyramid or a triangle, not pyramid. So that's a word stress problem. Again, pyramid. I'm looking at the Luxor pyramid from my balcony in my hotel, so you pronounce that pyramid.
those figures and showing which part are the needed data. Overall, that's why I think that the marker is the most important.
Yeah, I think which parts, if you say which parts are the cars, I would say which parts the cars are. No, you're okay there. I'm wrong. So you're using the right word order in your noun clauses, so forget what I'm saying there. So, all right, let's take a look at the rubrics. So I think overall, the first idea, you didn't really have a good specific example for that one point, but everything else I think was good. So you were 85% great with your topic development. Overall, you seem to be pretty comfortable with your language use. Not too bad with delivery. But still, there are some minor issues, I think, with your pronunciation. So you still need to work, for example, on your intonation. I still think this is a good response. So I'm going to put you at about 23 to 24 points out of 30, 3.0 to 3.1 out of 4.